many of you guys are planning to attend college? Raise your hand. I am. And how many of you guys are concerned about how you're going to pay for your college education? I know I am. I'm going through a lot of scholarships right now. Well, my name is Trevor, and I'm here to talk to you about how schools should not raise tuition to renovate their facilities. First, I'm going to talk about how schools are currently funding their renovations and improvements in new buildings. I'm going to talk about what other options to obtain those funds are. And finally, I'm going to talk about what will happen if they don't stop raising tuition. Let's first look at what schools around the country are currently doing to fund their grounds. The first thing is, tuition rises every year. According to WHOTV.com, Iowa Board of Regents has recently approved a raising tuition of 3.9% for both the University of Iowa and the Iowa State University. Now, 3.9% might not seem like a lot, but when you start going there for years and years, it starts to add up, and there's a lot more debt you're going to be into. According to the Wichita Eagle, Wichita State has recently increased their infrastructure fee from $6 a credit to $12 a credit. And while $12 a credit might not seem like a lot, but over the course of 120 credits for a bachelor's degree, that adds up to about $1,440 spent on buildings and grounds that you might not even use. Do you really want to be that much more in debt just so you can have pretty bushes and nice looks to buildings? Or do you rather save that so you wouldn't be so burdened in the future? Well, you might be asking yourself, or asking me, how else could they get their funding? Well, I'm glad you're thinking that. So there are many other sources in which colleges can obtain funding for the buildings. The first of which are private donors and businesses. Many colleges, such as Iowa State and the University of Iowa, have buildings named after famous alumni, rich people in the community, and people who feel like giving. Along with businesses who want to help out, maybe they get a lot of employees from there, and they want their name to be spread around. Well, it's not very hard to slap a name on a building or a renovation or a garden or a walkway, anything like that. And in doing so, they want to be taking the money from the students' pockets to be funded by the corporations or by the people. And essentially it'd be free advertising for them, and it would be a lot less burden on us. The second of which is taxes. So taxes already pay to support a lot of public universities and colleges. And right now, MCC is working on a bond to approve several $1 million to renovate their campus here in Marshalltown. And that would save the students who are going there money, but it would put a little more stress on the community around them. The third of which are grants for their old historic buildings. Recently, Marshalltown had a tornado destroy a lot of their downtown, including the historic courthouse. And how they're working to rebuild those, or they're getting a lot of grants from different organizations, which will let them rebuild and fix them up for them to remain for the future. And the fourth of all is any new buildings from now on. This is happening in a lot of universities around the country, or they put aside a large sum of money as an endowment, and with that endowment in the future for renovations or improvements or to fix them up, that money can be pulled from that endowment rather than increasing tuition on the students. So what will happen if colleges don't change their ways? Well, the first thing that will happen is, well, it can be gloomy. Higher tuition can lead to more student debt, and you already hear in the news all the time about how people are struggling with their student debt. Is that really something that we want to continue and increase? The second of which is college is getting more and more unaffordable. If you look at this graph from credit.com, you can see how the rate of, or the amount of money required for a semester of school is increasing. And what I am hoping the colleges are starting to do is they're starting to top that off and stop raising it near as much. They also, a lot of schools like USC, which I have right here, University of Southern California, are in a situation where they renovate their facilities, hoping to boost enrollment, get more interest, get more students there. But in order to renovate their facilities, they're raising tuition. And a lot of students just can't afford that tuition. So their enrollment is actually dropping as their university is getting nicer because people just can't afford it. becoming a place, and there's a lot of universities like this, where only the wealthy can afford to go. And is that really how we want our higher education? So we talked about how colleges are currently raising tuition on their students to pay for these buildings. And then I talked about some other sources in which they can obtain these funds. And finally, I talked about what will happen if they don't change their way to obtain funds. Well, I believe schools should switch to other ways to fund renovations and new buildings rather than raising tuition. And if you are planning to go to college but don't have unlimited funds like so many of us who are looking to go to college in the next couple of years, I want you to support schools going to find other ways to fund their buildings, fund their facilities, and not put the burden on us. Thank you very much for listening to my speech. I hope you learned something.